All right. NCAA's eligibility crisis. Are we getting sick and tired yet? I'm getting sick and tired. Well, most recently, just yesterday, Alabama's Charles Bediako, who is on their basketball team, who played for them from 21 to 23, decided to take his talents to the league, did not get drafted, played for the G League, and now is back. He had his day in court to see if the NCAA would be successful in enforcing their rule that he would not be eligible for continued play in the NCAA. Now, quick reminder about what the rules are supposed to be for eligibility in basketball. Okay, so 5 years, rule number one, 5 years or less from high school graduation. So if you do things between the time you graduate from high school and the time you enter college, so long as that's less than 5 years, you may have eligibility remaining to you. And the second rule is supposed to be that you didn't enter the draft. But as that has been interpreted, it has been maybe you didn't get drafted or maybe you didn't play in the NBA. Okay, so the NCAA has gotten itself in trouble with how it decided to enforce its rule. So we've got a couple of examples. Now, there's supposed to be a different rule if you're an international player. So James Naji, who I talked to you about earlier, is Nigerian, and he was drafted by the NBA, but he did not ever play a game or ever sign a contract, and he played for 4 years in Europe. He's currently on 4 years of eligibility at Baylor. And then we've got Thierry Darlin, who was out of NBA Africa, and he played in the G League, and now I believe he is at Santa Clara State. And we have London Johnson, who is Jamaican, but interestingly, he went to high school in Norcross, Georgia, and he was a part of G League Ignite. And you may recall that G League Ignite was filling this gap for these guys that finished high school but did not want to go to college, and they wanted to begin to commercialize themselves immediately, hit G League Ignite with the notion they were going to get picked up by the NBA. So that started in 2021. Interesting timing because it started in 2020. Interesting timing because NIL was a thing in 2021. They have decided that they're going to shut down G League Ignite. So those guys are already playing. Okay, I think London Johnson is at Louisville, and they gave him 3 years of eligibility. Okay, so back to Bediako. So I read his complaint when he was requesting the temporary restraining order, and it reads like a tale of woe. It's like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be that much money left this much money in NIL, and had I known that, I wouldn't have attempted to take my talents to the league. Oh, I was trying to go to the NBA to take care of my family. Oh, if I only had known what was going to happen, I never would have left. Oh, I still have eligibility left because I left, early in my career. Oh, I just didn't know. And that's how his complaint reads. And you know what? I have no sympathy for Mr. Bediako, because everybody knows the way that the NBA draft works. And everybody knows that you can enter the draft and withdraw a certain number of days after the combine. I think it's 10 days, and there is no consequence to you at all. So you can go and test your draft stock, go play in some of these games that these individual teams may have. But so long as you are not on the roster when it's time to enter the draft, no harm, no foul. And we also know that if you go in the second round of the NBA draft, you are guaranteed nothing. There is more downside than upside. And so the only reason you ever want to be in the second round is because you just finished all your eligibility and there's nothing left to do but try to be in the NBA. There is nobody that has eligibility left who should ever find themselves in the second round of the NBA draft. So he knew that, and he got drafted not at all. Who was advising this man? That is not my issue. In any event, I don't have any sympathy for these guys who go early in the NBA draft, like early in their season, these one and done guys or two and done guys, and don't get drafted or get drafted in the second round. Hey, you knew what was coming, and you just thought it was going to be all right. Anyway, it was not all right for Mr. Bediako, and it's not all right for some of these other guys. So now it's like, I want to come back because of all this NIL money. Now, Greg Sankey, The SEC commissioner signed an affidavit as a part of the NCAA's appeal to the court, indicating that the court should deny Bediako's future eligibility. Okay? The court has not decided what they're going to do, but Mr. Sankey recognizes that at some point you got to draw a line in the sand. The NCAA realizes that at some point you got to draw a line in the sand. They just don't seem to have a good rule in their minds about when to do that thing. Because all these requests for eligibility, extended eligibility, just keep growing and growing. The average age of the Indiana national championship team was 23. These dudes should have been done 2 years before that. So we've got an eligibility problem. Now, in that same vein, okay, Trinidad Chambliss requested another year, and that has again been denied by the NCAA. And so he's taken that to the state court. Now, the judge in this matter is an Ole Miss law grad, so we'll see how that goes. Joey Aguilar at Tennessee also got a temporary restraining order in his eligibility case. So he is going for an 8th year of play. Come on now, guys. Okay. And then there are rumors that Amari Bailey, who actually played, back to basketball, actually played with the Charlotte Hornets, will be looking to go back to University of Southern Cal after being a one-and-done guy who got drafted in the 2nd round. Somebody should have told you that if you're not in the top 3rd in the 1st round, take your butt back to school, my brother, because there is no upside if you got eligibility left. Anyway, now, that rumor's been out there for a couple of weeks that Amari Bailey was going to try to get his eligibility reinstated. My guess is he's waiting to see how some of these other things play out before he enters his claim, because, dude, unlike these other people who have not played in an NBA game, whether they got drafted or not, Amari Bailey played in 11 games with the Charlotte Hornets, as I believe. Okay? Now, as I've also discussed, all this old dudes in the league does is clog up the pipes for these high school recruits who are getting crammed down. And in this environment where it's all about winning at any cost, these college coaches are going to be hard pressed to recruit these young guys, high school recruits, when they can go get a 21, 22, 23-year-old dude that's got some time in Europe or got some time in the G League okay? So I think we're in a really bad place, and I hope the court is sensitive to the signal they are sending if they allow Mr. Bediako to continue to play. And I hope that the NCAA now takes a hard line in the sand about what they consider to be professional play. If they're going to consider the G League to be minor league and not professional, and if they're going to consider Europe to be minor league and not professional, they are in a world of hurt. So I suggest that they take a different tack to this going forward. In any event, we'll see how it plays out, but there is a true crisis going on in college basketball right now, and we'll see how it plays out. As always, let me know what you think.